If you've been renting in Vegas for a while, maybe in Henderson, Summerlin, North Las Vegas, and you've been quietly wondering if you can qualify to buy, but you've told yourself, I just can't qualify yet, I really need you to watch this whole video. Because the number one thing keeping renters from becoming homeowners isn't money. It is a belief about money. It is a story you've been telling yourself based on something you heard once a long time ago, or a general vibe that buying is for someone else. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it actually takes to buy your first home in Las Vegas in 2026. Credit, down payment, income, real numbers, real programs. By the end, you're going to know whether you're closer than you think. And I'm going to go over 2 specific programs available to first-time homebuyers in Nevada that almost nobody talks about that can dramatically reduce what you actually need to bring to the table. So stay with me. I am Gwen Lyon with Love Las Vegas Realty. I'm located in the Las Vegas metro area. I've been here for 20 years. I've been in real estate since 2018, and I work with everybody. There's Duke. I work with everybody from renters to first-time homebuyers to investors and everywhere in between. Real estate is my life and Las Vegas is my city. So if you have any questions or you're interested at all, I'm here for you. I used to be a teacher. I come from an education background. I was also a small business owner for many, many years in Las Vegas. And my heart is on entrepreneurs, first-time homebuyers, and helping change people's lives. Let's start with the story you've been telling yourself. Number 1, I don't qualify. Guys, where does that story actually come from? Most renters don't really know what it even means to qualify. So when people say, I don't think I qualify, I love telling them, well, you're qualifying for a rental property, so you have the credit score and you have the income already. I don't qualify. Where does that story actually come from? Most renters have not actually ever been told no. They've assumed it. So let's figure out where that comes from. When I ask people, why haven't you bought yet? They always say, I don't have credit, or I don't have income, or I don't have the money saved that I need for the down payment. And when I ask them, who told you that? It's almost always nobody. It's somewhere inside. There is this idea that I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready, or I just am not at a place in my life where I can make a decision like that. But it's a story they've told themselves. And I get it. You don't want to put yourself out there and get rejected or hear you don't qualify. So people just assume and stay protected and keep themselves in and just keep going through the motion of renting what they've done for years. But when I actually sit down with them and say, hey, the credit score is qualifying, the income is qualifying, the job is qualifying, hey, I think it's surprising to most people what they actually can accomplish. While you're assuming that you don't qualify and paying your landlord's mortgage every month, they are building equity on your back. The rent keeps increasing, and they're not giving you any more for that amount of money. It's not like they're bringing in brand new appliances and renovating the house and now you're living in a nicer place. They're just increasing the rent every year. Over 5 to 10 years, the math is brutal. I don't even like to talk about it because when I throw around numbers in the 10s and 20s, thousands of dollars that are getting paid every year to the landlord that could be equity in your pocket, it's pretty scary. The cost of not asking is way higher than the cost of actually asking and getting a no. What do lenders look at when they are qualifying you? Yes, they look at credit score. Yes, they need to look at your credit and your debt to income ratio, and they need to look at how much money you have saved. Those 3 credit bureaus that they are talking to and looking at have all different numbers, if you've noticed. So we have a high, a mid, and a low score, a FICO score, a Vantage score even now. There's several things that they look at, and they are all going to balance each other out. So the length of time you've been at your job, how high is your credit score, what is your income, all of those things factor in together, and it isn't a one-size-fits-all type of situation. Most of the time, they're going to look at anybody who has 620 and above credit score. You're good to go. And that is usually even lower than what they require on rentals. I would say 80% of rentals in Las Vegas require 650 and above credit scores. So most of the time people are shocked when I tell them it's actually easier to buy than it is to rent in Las Vegas. The debt to income ratio is a little bit different when you're buying than renting. When you're renting, they don't really look at that. They don't really care at all about your debt to income ratio. But when you're buying a home, they want to set you up for success and make sure you're going to be able to make your mortgage payment. So they want to see how much cash you're using every month, your revolving credit lines, how much of your credit is being utilized. Now, if you have 640, 650, 660, 700, the higher the credit score, the better. Now we're talking about really great interest rates. Now we're talking about loan programs or loan down payment assistance programs that are available. So the higher the score, the more available opportunities for you. The more programs, the more money, the better interest rates. All right, you don't need an 800 score though to qualify for a mortgage. That's just a myth. And your debt to income. What is DTI? It's an acronym that lenders use, and they speak in a language that not everybody understands, but debt to income is the ratio of your monthly money that comes in and then how much of that goes back out again to pay all of your bills. And they're looking for 50% generally, and that also has to include the mortgage. So 40 to 50% if you're coming in at that range is really good. Now here's the magical piece. A good lender is actually able to put that together, maybe pay off some of your debt, maybe put that into your loan and make sure that all of that happens through close of escrow so that we can make the debt to income work for you. The down payment, that's where it gets a little tricky. And I think this is also the biggest misconception. You don't need 20% down. That is what used to be in the 70s and 80s when our parents were buying homes, but not anymore. Now we're looking at 3%, sometimes 5%. Maybe it's a second home or an investment property, maybe 10%. But there are so many cool programs where we can even have an owner that will finance it for you. So it's really just having a conversation with the lender about where you're at, what you're comfortable with, and figuring out a solution and win-win for everybody. The down payment myth, what's really required? Although maybe back in the 70s and 80s it was 20%, now we're really looking for 3% on a conventional loan or 3.5% on an FHA loan. The 20% idea, that came from a very old era in lending when you could put down 20% and then you wouldn't have the private mortgage insurance. And sure, we still have that. If you have additional cash to put down, we absolutely can structure something that will help bring your payment down. Now we can even buy the interest rate down. So this modern era, we've got a lot of options. With a conventional loan on a $300,000 home, you're looking at $9,000 to $10,000 down. It's really not that much. And guess what? You can get a gift from a family member, and it can be a repayable gift if you don't have it. The other great thing is if you are a VA, so let's say you're a veteran or prior military, those are zero down. We love those. Or a USDA loan where you're going to do some renovations on the property, or maybe it's in an area that's considered rural, like Pahrump. Those a lot of times are also zero down loans. There's just a lot of options, and it's really speaking with someone who's experienced and knows what they're doing to figure it out. Another really exciting opportunity for most people, especially first-time home buyers, is a down payment assistance program. I used one. Almost everyone I know that buys their first home uses a down payment assistance program. Guys, it's the government's way of saying, we want you to purchase a home because we know that home ownership makes our community and our country stronger and more secure. So the government says, we are going to give you a first-time home buyer no money down or down payment assistance program. They back these loans, and you really only have to come in with a few $1,000s usually, very minimal. And I really do compare it to a security deposit and first month's rent for somebody who's renting. you've got to come in with $5,000 to $10,000 usually, no matter what, on a rental. So if you've got some cash sitting around, or you've got a family member that can help you with a gift or a loan, you have plenty to purchase a home. And I think that's a big surprise and misconception for most people. Not only that, guys, but if you have an agent that is worth their weight in gold or worth anything, they should be able to get the closing costs covered for you. A good agent is going to negotiate, and most of the time sellers understand, particularly when we're talking about first-time home buyers. They're not coming in with a lot of money. It's very different when you're on your second or third home and you've sold your first home and now you've got this chunk of cash that you can work with. But when sellers are accepting an offer with a first-time home buyer and they understand that, they know they're going to cover closing costs. That's part of the deal. So we can add that in to the offer to make it more comfortable for the sellers. We can always figure something out. It's just very simple to do, and I think it's assumed when you're dealing with first-time home buyers. So how much cash do we really need to close? $5,000 to $10,000, and if you have more than that, the more the merrier, obviously. On an honest note, I really don't like my buyers to spend their cash. I want you to keep as much in your pocket as you can, because there's always going to be those little unforeseen expenses that come up. Not only that, but you get into the house and you want to buy new furniture, you want to decorate, you want to make it feel homey, and you want to have some money in the bank for emergencies. So I'm always looking for my buyers to keep as much as they can in their pockets. I'm going to try and get every dime covered by the sellers or lender credits or a down payment assistance program every time. That is my goal. All right, and let's talk about the down payment assistance programs that almost nobody talks about. These are Nevada specific programs, and they're for people that have under $100K in household income. The number one program that I talk about the most is the Home is Possible program, which is through the Nevada Housing Division. And they will give up to 4% of the loan amount as a non-repayable grant. So you don't have to pay it back. And those are the most beautiful programs that you can find, right? Because they're not adding it into the loan as something you pay back. It's forgivable. All right. You can also use it to cover the down payment and the closing costs. They will give you up to $20,000 on some of these programs, and that money can get divvied up however you need it. So whether it's the down payment, some of the closing costs, maybe it's a rate buy down, we spread that money out. Whether it is the closing costs, the down payment, or an interest rate buy down, we can spread that out and figure out what's best for you. All right, program number 2 is Home at Last. It is the Nevada Rural Housing Authority's opportunity. Don't let rural fool you though, because a lot of places in Nevada are considered rural, and huge parts of Las Vegas qualify that you would be surprised. They're not necessarily what we think of as rural, but they are for this program, so we'll take that free money. They will give up to 5% of assistance, and we have even better terms if you're a teacher, a first responder, or those very important positions like police officers, firefighters, anybody who's in an essential worker position, hospitals, doctors, nurses, anybody who's caring for the sick or the elderly or children, teachers, all of those. There are so many opportunities out there. The Nevada Mortgage Credit Certification, MCC, is a federal tax credit on mortgage interest every year for the life of the loan. Most buyers don't even know that that exists. So you guys, it's not just getting in a home and earning equity, and now you have this great property. This is a tax benefit and a write-off for you every single year, year after year. Now you're in another tax bracket and you have a tax shelter. And the reason that most renters don't know about these things is that lenders have to be specifically approved to offer some of these programs, and not every lender is. Not every lender is even comfortable talking about these programs. So you really want to work with someone who's experienced and knows what they're doing. Rent versus a mortgage, the real math on your current rent check. What your current rent would actually qualify you to buy. This is a question that I get all the time. People that are paying $1,700 to $2,000 a month in Vegas, that is a $250,000 to $350,000 home. That's a pretty good property here in our valley. You can definitely find a solid townhouse, a very nice luxurious condo, or even a small single family home in that price range. So do the math. 5 years at $1,900 a month, that's $114,000 of your money that's gone, guys. You don't get it back. Your landlord does not give you a tax write-off. You don't earn any equity on it. You're not earning interest on it. It's just gone. The same payment on a mortgage is like putting money in a forced savings account. You're earning equity on that every month. It's going back into your pocket. Not only that, but those little hidden costs, because I've rented too, and you always are going to upgrade and make your place nice when you're renting it. So all of the things that you do to take care of your space, it doesn't go to you when you're renting. It goes right back to your landlord. So when you own the home, every light bulb you change, if you put in a ceiling fan, if you do some touch-up paint, even the cleaning, you get the carpets cleaned, hey, now that's money back in your pocket, in your equity. You've made the value of that property go up. That's a hidden cost. Okay, let's see. Oh, so that same payment of $1,900 to $2,500 a month that you're paying in rent, that could be $30,000 to $50,000 in equity, depending on how much the property appreciates. That's a lot of money. Not only that, but the rent tends to go up every year. Maybe they give you a year of keeping it the same, but in 2 years, the rent is gonna go up, and they don't just go up a little. I've seen rent go up $200, $300, $400, $500 in 1 or 2 years. Not only that, but add all those rental fees that they have with the resident benefits packages and all that extra little stuff that isn't even technically included in your rent, and you're paying a lot more and you're giving up all of that equity. A fixed mortgage is locked in for 30 years. You know what that amount is, and it's never going to change. If anything, if the rates come down, we could always refinance and get it down, but it will not go up. That's the beautiful thing, you guys, and that's what nobody talks about. The people that bought a house in 2011 and have a $500 mortgage, they have a $500 mortgage forever until the house is paid off. That's awesome, okay? Because the cost of living continues to go up. The amount of money that you make at your job should continue to go up. And if you can lock it in on a comfortable mortgage payment, you're sitting pretty while all the other people that are renting continue to have to run on that hamster wheel. Predictability alone is a massive financial win. Knowing that even if appreciation flattens, you're still paying something off. At the end of the day, you're paying for something that you will own. Okay, what ready actually looks like. What does it mean to be ready? For first-time home buyers, it's just having that credit score, that income, and that steady job. You do need to have employment. You definitely want to wait for a moment when you're ready to move. I think that making a move and being in a position of needing to move is the perfect time, because moving is not fun. So if you need to move anyway and you call for a rental, that's the perfect time to find yourself a house. The right moment doesn't always come. If you're waiting for this magical time of, I have a lot of money in the bank and my credit score is great and all of the things have lined up, you might be waiting forever. You really just need the moment to be right, that you need to move and you need to find a home. And then it's exploring those options and being open-minded.